right. So I wanted to sort of expand on what Christy was talking about on the Sunday call, because I thought it was such a good topic, with habits and how we sort of let habits either define us, or we can like grow from them and make them work for us. And when it comes to food, it's really easy to just get stuck in the same habits that we grew up with. Like we've been eating since we were, 1 years old or 1 year old, and so like those habits are kind of like ingrained in us. And there's a lot of habits that we can sort of peel away and replace with better habits when it comes to food. And what it was kind of timely because I'm on this road trip. We're driving up from Florida back to Kentucky, and road trips to me used to be like Twizzlers and gummy bears and fast food and all the junk, and I wasn't good about it on this trip coming back up. But coming down, and usually when I go on road trips, I pack myself a nice big pack of cut up vegetables, maybe some chopped up or not chopped up, but like slices of chicken, or just like whatever meat I have in the fridge, oranges. I bring a gallon of water so I don't have to buy drinks, stuff like that. But we can apply the habits to meal prep and daily eating, even if it's just like, your habit is to get your cup of coffee and also a little Danish with it. Those habits can get slowly changed from, something that's not so great for you to something that's a little bit better. So what do you guys, what are some habits that you found? Julie, I know that your meal prep is like on point. You like make yourself 7 potatoes and you make the same thing every week, right?
Pretty much, yeah. I haven't done potatoes in a while just because, I don't know, I got out of the habit of it to where I was replacing my carb with a fruit instead of doing a potato or rice. But
That's
now
fine.
I'm back into it. But when we travel, which we'll be doing this summer, the potatoes come in handy. So yeah, and like for the car, I never used to like beef jerky, and now I eat beef jerky, and that's a better substitute than eating a candy bar in the car. And found some good like omega-3 nuts and seeds to eat, that has maybe 7 grams of protein, but it's got a good amount of fat, and it's not so much sugar.
And already portioned out, right? Like that's the
I get the pre-portioned bags because I can't, I just sit there and grab and eat and just keep eating until I was full, instead of it being just a snack or something. So that, and like string cheese, and like you said, cut up vegetables, and I do red peppers and green peppers and celery and carrots, and that's like my staple right there, is the red peppers, the green peppers, the celery and carrots. That's like what I usually eat for my veggies for my breakfast almost every day. So I do a savory breakfast. So I do, chicken breasts and usually like some rice and quinoa with garlic.
So when you started eating breakfast like that, how was it difficult for you to switch your, because so many times I hear from clients, they're like, I can't eat. That's crazy. Like, that's not breakfast food. Like what?
I was doing it with eggs, but then when I got put, on the movement, and with doing more movement and doing more workouts, and then needed to hit my protein intake, eggs only have what, like 7
Yeah.
grams of protein, where I could do a 4 or 5 ounce piece of chicken and it has 25 to 35 grams protein. So that right there kind of changed my mind. And especially with the rice that I was doing, it tastes so good that it's weird for me to have eggs for breakfast now.
So it was more
So
of a mindset shift on like fuel, instead of like thinking
yeah,
about what feels good for breakfast. It was like, how am I going to get my fuel in better?
yeah. And I love chicken, and us doing the food prep on Sundays that we were doing, that really got me into the habit of it. So it's like, well, I've got all this chicken, what I'm going to eat. I can't, I'm not going to eat it. I'll have to eat it like every day. And then I was like, well, yeah, duh. And so I ran out of eggs one week and didn't, or I forgot to take them to work. And so all I had was my chicken for my lunch, and I ended up having chicken for breakfast. And I went, oh my goodness, this is really good. So
Yeah.
I had chicken this morning for breakfast. So, I mean, it was just really good. So, I, jazz it up with some salt and pepper and garlic powder and Hungarian paprika. So it gets a little bit
Nice.
of a kick to it. So,
Yum. That sounds delicious.
yeah.
What about you, Nancy? Where are you in food habits? How are you doing?
I think I've made some pretty decent progress. I don't know, I'd heard for a long time that, if you just have some vegetables in your fridge ready to go, it's a good idea. Like, I never had really done it, but when I have those peppers and carrots ready to go, or this week I have a bunch of roasted vegetables and I needed a snack, and I know most of my life I would grab a granola bar because they were easy and ready to go. Well, now I brought roasted asparagus with me, and it was very tasty. And
That's awesome.
it's like still kind of a new behavior. I guess been doing it for a few months now, but it works. Surprise, surprise. The thing everybody said works actually works when you do it, not just when you think about doing it.
Yep. Yep. What other habits are you like finding that you want to either implement or kind of leave in the dust?
For Lent, I've been
Anything?
not buying meat and just trying to eat more plant-based and fish. And I miss the chicken, but it's been an interesting experiment.
Yeah. And that's what it is. A lot of times people get so frustrated when they like have this idea of how they want things to look, and it doesn't come out exactly how they think, and they get all down on themselves. But that's just what it is. It's just an experiment. You just try new things until you find what works really well for you, and then it feels good, and it's easy to keep it going. And also, like, being plugged into the Facebook group and the Marco Polo groups, or these calls, and especially Christy's calls, when things start feeling stale or repetitive and start losing steam, those calls can really help you get started again. When you get like 7 months in and something derails you, and back on, it's you're surrounded by all the people doing the same thing, which is great.
You kind of turned into a robot there for a little bit, so I didn't catch that part.
Oh, what was the last thing you heard?
It was probably just right after you were talking about Christy's call. So it kind of just started breaking up and just got a little bit of a word every once and again.
Okay. I don't remember what I said.
Well, and I was just going to kind of go off of Nancy of like, trying to switch my eating habits because, I got, blood work done and my cholesterol is high. And, I was told to go on to like a Mediterranean kind of a plant-based diet. And that's very hard for me. I don't like fish. So, or I haven't found a fish that I like if it isn't fried, and that's not real healthy either. So, for me, it's like, I told my doctor, I'm like, I like chicken. He's like, that's good. So, that's when I started looking at like alternatives of like ground chicken and ground turkey. And I found that, Genio or Genio, however you pronounce it, they have already pre-seasoned ground turkey. So I get the turkey taco meat and I get the turkey Italian sausage, and then I just get plain turkey and I add that into things that, I just had a taco salad tonight and that was with the taco turkey, and it's seasoned so well that you don't realize it's not hamburger. It just tastes like taco meat. So, but you have less of the fat content, more protein content, but that way I'm able to switch things up a little bit better. I just don't have the, I guess I just don't have the, I don't know, the confidence to go into, like doing lentils and stuff like that, because I've just never done it. So it's just going to take me finally saying, all right, just do it and try and, experiment with it. But, when it's just myself that's eating it that way, it's kind of hard.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of, so increasing the fiber in your diet really helps cholesterol too. So that's why, the lentils and stuff and oatmeal and chia seeds and stuff like that helps cholesterol a lot. So, there's other ways that you can, try to go Mediterranean. Some of those like steakier fishes, like swordfish or trigger. I just had triggerfish this weekend. It was amazing. I've never had triggerfish before. So if you can find that, it's got that same texture like swordfish or shark, where it's not real like flaky and fishy. It was really, really good. But that's another thing that you have to experiment with, because cooking fish is kind of intimidating.
Yeah, very much so, because, the only fish that we had in our household when I was growing up was fish sticks, and that's just totally disgusting to me. And, I wasn't a real, I was a very skinny kid because, being Catholic, you couldn't have meat on Fridays, and in our household, even after they changed the rule, my dad still wouldn't let us have meat on Fridays. So it's like, I don't like macaroni and cheese and I don't like fish. So I would get like bread for dinner.
Bread and butter.
Yeah. I wondered why I was so thin when I was a kid. But yeah, that's something that, we have a trip coming up later in the year of going down to Florida. So that way, if we go someplace, I'll be able to order fish. It'll be fresher fish. And that way I'll be able to kind of try some stuff out, at least while we're down there.
Yeah.
We've been making tacos with tilapia or cod and a lot of Mexican spice rub on it. And my daughter like eats more of them than I do. She's an interesting child, but she likes that with guacamole, and it doesn't taste fishy at all. It's got so many other spices on it.
Yeah, because both my kids love fish tacos, and I've never had the guts to try them. So
how do you cook it, Nancy?
Just in a frying pan, fresh unfrozen tilapia, and usually has cumin and chili pepper and a fresh fruit salsa. That helps too.
Yum.
That sounds delicious.
You should try it out.
I might have to. Maybe I'll make my daughter make it for me.
How old's your daughter, Nancy?
She's almost 5.
Oh,
Nice.
wow.
And she loves the
Adventurous
vegetables and the
eater.
ranch dip. And like, where did you come from? Why are you not eating carbs and candy? Whose child are you?
That's how my son
Yeah.
was when he was younger. It's like he would go so long without eating that he would have meltdowns when we would go to eat. And I would always get a salad. So he started eating salads just because he was so hungry. And he'd just dip everything in ranch. So we just called him the super dipper. And so, everything's in ranch. And he still does that to this day. So he dips everything in ranch or ketchup. So
Ranch is like an American food group.
yes, because I'm a ranch dipper too. It's like I'll dip, pizza, chicken, French fries. It's all fair game.
Yep.
But homemade with some Greek yogurt for a base or some buttermilk.
Mhm.
Such a terrible thing to put with your vegetables.
Yeah,
No, especially with the Greek yogurt.
I never
And there you
thought
go.
of that.
That's like a habit you can change. Instead of like buying a jar of ranch, you just buy the Greek yogurt and season it with the ranch packets.
Oh, that's a good idea.
And then you get your protein with your veggies.
Ooh, I'm gonna have to try that.
It tastes a little bit different, but I'm not a
Yeah.
big ranch fan. So I just
Yeah.
I think that it
I
tastes
used
just
to,
fine.
yeah, the only way that I used to be able to eat vegetables is to dip them in ranch. But now with like the sweetness of the red peppers, it just, I don't put them in anything. I rarely use a dip, or a salad dressing with my veggies now. And usually when I do it with my salads, I have it on the side because I don't like my salad dressing all drenched on my salad. So
I forgot to ask for my dressing on the side last week when we were at the steakhouse, and it was so wet, and I'm not used to that. It was awful.
yeah,
Soggy.
yeah, because they put just like a big clump right in the middle of it, and it's like, eh,
Yeah.
I don't like that. It's all that texture thing for me.
What else?
I think one of the best things that I've done recently is just planning out my meals. I kind of have to tweak them a little bit because, I'd get with my husband and I'd put it on a checklist, and I want to get a dry erase marker board so that way I can put it and list it. And the only thing that I do is I plan something different for every night, and I don't think of the leftovers. So it's like, I end up skipping certain meals because we've got so much left over because it's just me and my husband. And so like, we fixed turkey on Sunday, and then we had turkey for leftovers last night. And then, Mondays and Wednesdays are my no cook days because I'm so exhausted from boot camp. So I'm just like, you're on your own, or you're getting me something. You're fixing me something because I'm too tired.
I love it.
Yeah, just the meal planning and then the prepping, because that way when I plan out my meals, then I go off of that to go grocery shopping. So it all kind of, it just kind of is like a nice little slide downwards, that everything just kind of falls into place with everything else. So it's like, you plan the meals, you go the grocery shopping, and then you prep what you need. I'm really good with prepping for my breakfast and lunches at work. So that part goes really well because, I take everything in my lunchbox and I take it for, the 3 days that I'm there. So I don't have to carry it back and forth. So
Oh, that's smart. Yeah, that's great.
Lunch changes a little bit depending on what, like, for Monday, I took the leftover taco meat and had a taco salad. And that way, it saves us money too, because then, we're using the leftovers and I'm not buying a lunch from the restaurant downstairs. So
Yeah,
that works out really well.
for sure. I prep like a bunch of meat and a bunch of veggies and a bunch of carbs, and then I just sort of combine them throughout the week. We do a lot of just bowls of whatever's there because I don't like to cook a whole lot, and I'm kind of a boring cook. So I just cook everything sort of plain, because especially my son doesn't like spicy food. So we just sort of add this sauce seasoning that we want as we go through the week. So if you're feeling kind of Asian-y, you add some Asian seasoning. If you're feeling Mexican, you add some hot sauce. If you're feeling barbecue-y, there's barbecue sauce, so it makes it pretty easy to feed the family. Doing it that way for me, at least. And I just make like, double, triple batches of stuff so that it's just good to go. It's just then what works for me. It's one habit that I'm so happy that I figured out. I used to try to make recipes all the time, and then that's just too much, trying to make recipes all week long.
Yeah, definitely.
One thing I haven't found a good habit for, better replacement habit for, is evening snacking. For a while, I was doing a pretty good job of eating most of my food during the day, and I've been working out more, and gets to be like this time of night, like, oh man, I'm really hungry. I'm not going to be able to sleep. What can I eat? I will have a bowl of cereal. And that's not the best choice, but it's the only other adequate substitute. Sometimes I'm willing to slice up an apple and have apple peanut butter, but sometimes that's too much work.
Do you use protein powder for anything? Because we'll just add protein powder to our cereal and have that as a snack, and it's pretty delicious. Or you can have like a protein shake or a smoothie, yogurt, like a Greek yogurt with some fruit.
That's my
Is a
after.
good snack. Oh, is it? Popcorn's always a nice treat. You can throw some nutritional yeast on top of that, and it tastes sort of like Parmesan cheese on your popcorn with some butter and salt, and that's pretty delicious as an evening snack. You can always just have rolled up turkey meat and cheese, kind of any kind of snack that you would have during the day is fine for the nighttime too. But are you looking for something sweet?
But I want something sweet and lots of carbs. All of the willpower is gone by this time of night.
A lot of times, when you're feeling really snacky at night, it's because you haven't had enough carbs during the day. So you might want to increase your carbs, at lunchtime or dinner time. What time do you work out?
Morning.
So that would be actually, it's fine to have the extra carbs at night if you're working out in the morning, because you're not going to have much food before you work out. And so it just, replenishes all the stores that you've used up during the day, so that you have it ready to go in the morning for your workouts.
Maybe the stomach that really wants cereal is kind of onto something.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Maybe not highly processed cereal, though. There might be something better.
Yeah.
And I never even thought of adding protein to that, though. Protein powder to your cereal.
It's delicious. I add it to my oatmeal. Protein powder and yogurt is really good together. I can't eat the yogurt, but my husband does. He says it's delicious. Oh yeah, protein isolate is the good protein because it doesn't upset your belly the way whey does. It's just, it's smoother, so it dissolves better.
And what's it called again?
Whey isolate. So they isolate. It's more expensive than just regular whey protein,
Mhm.
but they isolate the protein from out of the whey. Whey is like a dairy byproduct,
Mhm.
and it's just. I used to try vegan protein and pea protein and all those like other proteins that are non-dairy, but the isolate is really good.
Okay.
I'll post we prefer Dymatize. We just order it off Amazon.
Oh, okay.
But it's Dymatize. They have all kinds of flavors. They have like Fruity Pebbles flavor, so you can add it to Special K, and it just tastes like Fruity Pebbles,
Oh, wow.
like a creamy, yeah, pretty delicious. And they've got
Boy.
Cocoa Pebbles, and then you get the regular vanilla for just regular protein shakes.
Nice. Nice. I can tell that to my husband.
So that's a way to get it something sweet in the evening that you know is actually going to be good for your body.
Awesome.
Yeah. Anything else that you guys want to talk about before we wrap up?
No, I don't have anything. Do you have anything, Nancy?
Cool.
Yeah, I'm glad we're doing this again. It's helpful for me to carve out some time and just talk out loud about what I'm working on.
Yeah, that's a great
Yeah.
call. Yeah. Well, then I'll see you next Wednesday.
Alrighty. Thanks so much.
All right. Good night, ladies.
Bye-bye. Good
Good
night.
night.